This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Elene Khajishvili.
And I'm Karla Suarez. Since last spring, the Texas Tech football team has continually made headlines as head coach Joey McGuire and his staff aggressively recruited top-level talent across the nation.
The Red Raiders used millions of dollars for NIL funding to bring in 17 transfer students, with some of them considered to be one of the best in the nation at their position. But was it worth it? Texas Tech fans had their first real chance to find that out as the Red Raiders headed to Salt Lake City, Utah for a top 25 showdown against Utah. Texas Tech headed into Saturday's game ranked one spot behind the Utes in the AP poll at number 17, but both teams were considered to have similar skill sets, setting up one of the more interesting matchups of the weekend. Texas Tech immediately set out to change the parity narrative by forcing Utah to punt after gaining 7 yards and then turning around and scoring on their first possession of the game. But that score ended up being the Red Raiders' only touchdown until the fourth quarter. In the meantime, Tech's defensive went into action, holding Utah to only a field goal in the first half. The Utes also stepped up on defense, keeping Tech out of the end zone through the second and third quarters, and also knocking out starting quarterback Baron Morton. In the third quarter, Morton ran for 10 yards and then went to the ground head first, colliding with a linebacker's shoulder. With Morton out, backup quarterback Will Hammond rallied the team to 3 consecutive touchdowns to secure the Red Raiders their first conference win of the year. Hammond finished 13 of 16 with 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. The running back Cameron Dickey also had another big week with 13 attempts for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. But the real stars of the game were the defensive line, who shut down Utah's explosive offense, limiting quarterback Devon Dampierre to 162 yards and no touchdowns, along with a sack and 2 interceptions. By the end of the game on Saturday, Texas Tech finished with their best start to a season in more than a decade. The last time the Red Raiders were 4-0 was under head coach Cliff Kingsbury in 2013. This was also the first time the Red Raiders won against a top 25 team while being ranked since 2008. And for their efforts, the Red Raiders showed up at number 12 in this week's AP Top 25 poll. Texas Tech gets this weekend off, but they'll return to action in Houston against the Cougars on Saturday, October 4th.
With the football team out of town, many local businesses and organizations decided to take advantage of this past weekend by hosting annual events. There were plenty of options on the events calendar, including right here on campus. Starting at 9 a.m. on Saturday, Texas Tech Department of Plant and Soil Sciences hosted the 2025 Fall Field Day in the Plant Cell at TTU Greenhouse and Horticultural Gardens. The cell was open to the public, and people were invited in to discover a mix of plant options from house plants to succulents and even tropical plants. Staff and students from the greenhouse and gardens were also on hand to answer any horticultural questions and vote for their favorite plants. The sale continued until noon or until all of the plants were sold. The Fall Field Day and Plant Sale is just one of the several sales held during the school year. But even if you didn't make it on Saturday, you can join the greenhouse and horticultural gardens by stopping by throughout the year to check out the work of the PSS department.
College students face many challenges here at Texas Tech, and for some, that includes the issue of substance abuse. Luckily, here on campus, there's at least one option to help students work through difficult times and find their way to a clean and sober life. The Texas Tech Center for Students in Addiction Recovery is located on the south end of the Human Sciences building. The center offers students a place to work their way through addiction through the help of a nurturing and supportive community. On Saturday, CSAR and the College of Health and Human Sciences hosted Mobilize Recovery's Campus Surge 2025 event here at Texas Tech. Tech's Campus Surge was one of more than a dozen events being held on college campuses across the United States. Saturday's event included a football watch party, a halftime show featuring American Idol winner Noah Thompson, interactive exhibits, and a chance to learn more about the center and resources available here on campus.
People are welcome even if they're not sure of their status in recovery. I know a lot of people that have come in for the first time and then gone into recovery. It's a place where you can hang out. You don't have to make a decision about where you are in recovery.
It seems like the students in the CSAR are sort of like very inclusive and advocates for recovery. So like if someone were to approach them and want to talk about the program, that they would be welcomed in. That's how it feels to me, just visiting.
Yeah.
Saturday's Campus Surge event was themed around the Texas Tech versus Utah game, and the festivities wrapped up at 2:30 p.m. But if you are still interested in the resources offered by the Center for Students in Addiction Recovery, you can check out their website for more information. Just visit hs.ttu.edu/CSA and click on Students in Addiction Recovery at the top of the page. Many of this past weekend's events were held outdoors, and luckily the weather cooperated for the most part. And even if you didn't know it, it was obvious with this weekend also marked the last couple days of the summer season.
Temperatures climbed into the 90s on both Saturday and Sunday, creating hot conditions for summer's last blast. But the hottest temperatures are still to come as we officially head into fall. Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing mostly sunny skies this afternoon. There's been a few clouds in the area, but otherwise it's been clear. And that's also helped temperatures to climb. Highs are already in the mid-90s right now, and we could finish the afternoon near 100 degrees. Luckily, today should mark the end of the high 90s for now, and we could even see some isolated showers and thunderstorms tomorrow and into early Wednesday morning. Right now, it's looking like the best chance for rain will be the south, but there is the possibility of some showers as students head to class on Wednesday morning. Tonight, temperatures will cool off into the upper 60s and low 70s across the area with partially cloudy skies. Tomorrow will be dry throughout the day with clear skies in the afternoon. Highs will vary from the mid-80s into the low 90s, with Lubbock mostly likely climbing above the 90s degree mark again late tomorrow afternoon. Looking ahead, early Wednesday morning is the best chance for the rain across the area. After that, temperatures will be cooler midweek, but we could see another climb into the 90s by Friday. But overall, it's looking like we should stay away from near 100-degree temperatures as we finish out September.
The Texas Tech football team weren't the only group of Red Raiders starting conference play this weekend. The women's soccer team also headed out of town to kick off the next part of their fall schedule. Tech Soccer spent Friday night in Waco, with the team taking on Baylor to start Big 12 competition. Texas Tech was hoping to improve on their record with a win, and that's exactly what they did with the help of senior Peyton Parsons. Parsons kicked in a penalty kick at the 71-minute mark to score the only goal of the game. Texas Tech now improves to 7-1 on the season and 1-0 in conference. The Red Raiders get to stay in Lubbock this week as they welcome in Houston for their Week 12 home opener. And if all goes well, the team will come in as a ranked team after tomorrow's United Soccer Coaches poll is released. Either way, Tech versus Houston is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. on Thursday at the John Walker Soccer Field. You can also watch on ESPN+.
The only team that was left here at home this weekend was Red Raider Volleyball. Tech didn't start Big 12 play, but they did find some success as they hosted the Red Raider Classic at the United Supermarket Arena. The Red Raiders played in 3 games between Friday and Saturday, winning 2 to improve their non-conference record. Tech beat the University of Albany on Friday afternoon, 3-1, but later on, they met up with Ole Miss and unfortunately had to exact opposite result, losing 1-3. But the Red Raiders decided to end on a high note, taking a showdown with Incarnate Word to 5 sets and securing a win in the final set, 16-14. The win gave the Red Raiders a boost to 8-4 for the season, and hopefully some positive momentums as they head into the conference action. Texas Tech Volleyball will head back to the home court again on Wednesday to open the big portion of their schedule against the Baylor Bears. First serve on Wednesday is set for 6 p.m., and if you can't make it to the USA, you can catch all the action on ESPN+. As we mentioned earlier, there were plenty of activities happening this weekend, including several on Texas Tech campus.
And there was even one option for some of the area's youngest residents to learn about other inhabitants of the South Plains who roamed the flatlands millions of years ago. Dino Day took over the Museum of Texas Tech University on Saturday, transforming the facility into an educational playground for local kids. The family-friendly celebration of all things dinosaur included a chance to see samples of the museum's fossil collection, dig for dino bones, create a personalized mask, and enjoy free shows at the Moody Planetarium. The event was coordinated by the museum staff and students studying paleontology here at Texas Tech. And for some Red Raiders, it was a chance to offer a fun learning opportunity to the next generation.
So me personally, I got my interest really from the museum, and I got on my passion because I went to museum when I was a kid and I immediately got into those films. So I hope that works the same thing to the kids over there.
Dino Day is held each year by the TTU Museum and is one of the facility's most popular events. Like Dino Day, the TTU Museum is free and open to the public, and students are encouraged to stop by and discover the museum's permanent and rotating exhibits throughout the year.
So Elene, I know you may not have gone to Dino Day, but have you even stopped by the museum of Texas Tech?
I actually have. What about you?
I've done a couple projects down in the museum.
That is very cool.
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.